be allowed to be members of parliament.
Members of parliament should not hold offices of
Yes.
government. Why?
Why? Because MPs, primarily they are representatives, secondarily they are legislators. If the primary objective of banning or these members of parliament from holding office of profit is that they should not be influenced by the government decisions, should not be influenced by the executives in making laws. So if they hold office of profit, they are going to be influenced by it.
Now, as a student of political science, what kind of changes you find in India's diplomatic behavior in the last decade?
India has moved from an idealism to a practical point of view. That I think is one of the most
Do you
important.
mean to say that Nehruvian diplomacy was a failure now?
No, certainly not. But that was based on an idealism as well as practical considerations. But practical considerations were covered in terms of ideas.
Shall we call this practical behavior as opportunism?
Certainly not. I think every nation has got its own interest. We cannot call it opportunism.
So India took 50-60 years to realize this, that we should switch over from idealism to practical.
That was clothed in idealism, I would say. We are coming openly that these are our national interests and this should be defined as national interests.
Can you point out 2-3 national interests?
National interest, I think the foremost is energy security is one of the most important now.
Okay.
Secondly, good relations with neighbors, I think, is one of the priority areas of national interest.
Do you find some political aspect in trans-gas pipelines?
Political aspects are indeed there. That US does not want the
So
pipeline.
what are the political advantages India would seek from these trans-gas pipelines?
Its relations with Pakistan would improve. First of all, I think that would be a major thing because once the economies of India, once the pipeline is established, then to some extent India and Pakistan would be bound by certain things.
Don't you realize that I've also read somewhere, and don't you feel that India is not developing because India has always remained confined to Pakistan and this Bangladesh and this border?
I would not say
It
India.
never wanted to come out of that.
I would not say India has remained confined to Pakistan.
Like every time we start thinking that if India and US will develop relation, there will be an impact on Pakistan. If India and China will develop relation, there will be some improvement in Pakistan. Why are we always comparing India's relations with other countries with Pakistan? Why don't we think that if India and US have a good relation, let us have a good relation with India and North America?
I don't think India is comparing its relation with Pakistan. I don't think that's the correct view of seeing things. India has got its own independent foreign policy. Its relation with either US or China is independent of its relation with Pakistan.
Do you find any imperialism of India in South Asia?
I don't think so. It is a general perception though that of South Asian countries that India is imperialistic or it behaves in a big brotherly manner. But those things, India has got a stake in the stability and stability of these countries. So it is not imperialistic in the sense.
To your question.
I have a question arising out of your answer. You said that energy security is one of the national concerns. Do you think energy security is operating in voting against Iran?
No. Energy security is operating in voting against Iran. No, I don't think so. It's
Then there's a contradiction.
in contradiction in what?
If energy security is being looked after,
Yes.
we have worked out a relationship with Iran, and India goes and votes against Iran because America wants it to vote against Iran.
Yes.
Iran can retaliate by saying that we are not going to.
I would not say that America wants India to vote against Iran. India has got its own compulsion or its own way of seeing
What is
things.
India's compulsion to vote against Iran?
First of all, I would say when India conducted the nuclear explosion, one of the major reasons advanced for it was that there were nuclear powers around India with ballistic missiles. Iran also has ballistic missiles, and nuclear armed Iran would not be in the interest of India. So that is one of the considerations to say that India
India should have it only.
Pardon?
India should only have it.
No, I won't say that. India
Have
should
you
not
heard
have
about what is sauce for the goose must be sauce for the gander? Have you heard about it?
I don't know. I don't remember it.
When, non-proliferation.
Yes.
India advocating non-proliferation one. And again,
For others.
when you have it, then you enter the compartment, you have no place to sit. Once you sit on some of the bench, then the door is closed, nobody else can enter.
Iran's nuclear program is not indigenous. It has been a beneficiary of proliferation. I think Pakistan's network has been established, and it has got its indigenous capacity is not so advanced to build nuclear weapons.
Politics and politicking. Do you know the relation between the two? When does politics become politicking?
I'm sorry, I don't know that.
Anyway, your subject is political science and sociology, and you belong to Bhagalpur.
Yes.
What is Bhagalpur famous or notorious for?
I know.
Bhagalpur is famous for silk, first of all.
Yes, and what else?
It's famous for Vikramshila University.
Yes, what else? In recent times?
I didn't know that it's famous for silk. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, it is. Bhagalpuri silk is one of the.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's
What's the name of that? What's the name of that variety of silk?
It's Tasar.
Acha, that's a company.
Bhagalpur is also in
What is
famous.
why is it Tasar different from other silks? What is it in the manufacturing process, or where does the difference creep in?
I can say about the feel. The feel of Tasar and other Mulberry silks are different. Mulberry is quite smooth. Tasar is not smooth. It's a little bit coarse, and once you actually crush it with your hand, the line remains there. That is one of the basic distinguishing features of those silks.
Bhagalpur has a lot of Bengali influence. Is it true?
Yes, there are a lot of Bengalis.
How come?
I don't know about the history of it.
I mean, you must be knowing about the Bengal presidency days. Once Bihar was ruled from Calcutta, wasn't it?
Yes.
And in Munger, in Bhagalpur. Why? How come? Where are they situated?
In Bhagalpur.
I mean, Bhagalpur and Munger or places like this.
Yes.
They are situated where? On the banks of?
Banks of Ganga, I would say. There is a Bengali tola in Bhagalpur. Majority of Bengalis reside there. I don't know about the history of how they came into
You
Bhagalpur.
are supposed to. You're supposed to know about the place you come from. Because I'm telling you because the board, the UPSC board sometimes asks questions on your local sources. And you'll be caught on your back foot if you say, I don't know about the place where
I don't know about the history of Bengalis coming.
Since you are permanent, you are condemned to be a Bhagalpur. You cannot come out of it.
I would say it's my privilege to be a Bhagalpuri.
Now again, you appear to be an ambitious candidate, and you are serious about your
Yes, I am serious.
interview test.
Yes.
What is personality test?
Personality test is basically judgment of personality, whether a person is suitable for the job that is going to be in.
I mean, tell us, how should we judge your personality?
Judge my personality by whether I have got administrative qualities or not, whether I would need
How will I know? How will I know? I mean, do something administrative here. How will I know? So is it hoax?
It's not a hoax.
Then how does a board know about the personality of a candidate by interviewing for 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes?
I think the board basically tests the attitude whether he is suitable for administrative post or not.
It's not a hoax. It can be done. Tell me how. Because that will let you know about your shortcomings and come up. You are supposed to know what is personality and how is it judged. Because only then you can improve upon what you have been doing. The way you speak, your approach to different subjects, your language, your idioms, your commitments, the felicity and facility with which you come out with your opinion. Lots of things. Now, supposing you were to judge us, how will you judge?
I don't think I'm qualified enough to judge.
No, nor are we.
Yeah, you're right to judge.
Nor are we. We are not qualified to judge anybody.
You are supposed to answer that question.
Because if you answer that question, you are in. And be prepared for such questions. The board will not always ask you, public administration, sociology. They can ask any question under the sun. And if I were on the board, I would say, judge me. How will you judge you? How will you make a judgment?
I'm on the answering side. I don't know how to judge. I've not been questioning anybody.
And therein lies the point. Because if you have always been on the answering side, then, you will pardon me, you are not a good candidate for the post you are going to occupy. Because when you are talking to your younger brother, you are not on the answering side. If you are talking to your juniors, you are not on the answering side. So don't defend by a hollow argument. Because, you just told these are the things through which we can be, a person can be judged. Those norms can be applied equally for us. Why not?
But how do I judge? I'm not questioning anybody. How do I judge?
Question us, that is what I said.
I'll be a little different. Would you judge us by the range of questions that we ask?
Yes, certainly.
The complexities of the questions that we ask?
Yes.
How we follow up what you say? Whether we are articulate enough? Whether we are able to communicate our questions to you?
Exactly.
Okay? Okay.
Yes.
You follow that?
Yes.
So you are judging continuously. Because you would, if I were you, I would be looking at the kind of questions that have been asked of you.
Maybe what
And I would be trying to guide the interview to where I want to take it.
That's right. So just cannot escape by saying this simply that I am
You will be
answering
on the
side.
wrong
So
foot for that. You wouldn't get it.
Good manager should know to understand the behavior of a man overall.
A good candidate would make the board ask only those questions
which the person knows.
for which you are prepared to answer.
Absolutely.
That is the art you have to
That
cultivate.
lead has to be given.
Play on your strong points. As you have said, cricket. Now, finally, about the cricket. It's a very vague answer. Cricket. You like cricket watching, playing?
I think I like all aspects of cricket.
And now, what is a silly point?
Silly point is a position outside. It's very near to the batsman on the offside. Just near the pitch.
If as a captain you have put somebody on the silly point, what does the batsman know? What kind of bowling the batsman is going to operate? If there is a silly point.
If it's a spinner, perhaps the bowling is going to be on the off stump line. It's not going to be on the leg side. Perhaps the bowling is going to be a little bit short because in defending, perhaps he may pop a ball to the silly point.
Are you satisfied with the last test match? The great performance of Indian team.
It was a good performance by the England team.
Now, was it because of bowling or field or something? What
Wow.
is the reason?
How will you analyze as an expert? What failed
You
us?
cannot condemn them. They are world-class players. What happened?
What failed?
The batting perhaps was a disaster, I would say.
But why? Batsmen are excellent world-class batsmen, perhaps best combination in the world. What must be the reason? If you understand cricket, there must be something what factors there. It was last day.
It was the last day, but I think Indians do not have good approach towards playing fast bowling. The
The same people have been beating them blue and playing.
They have not been beating the blue. They have just won a test match in
No,
Australia.
they have been comfortably playing these fast bowlers, and they have no strong, really fast bowlers. They have played Pakistan 95 kilometers. They were just 85 km maximum. One was 90, touching sometimes.
What about the decision? The first decision that Dravid took.
The decision that Dravid took of fielding first. I think that was in Indian conditions perhaps that is not a good decision, because after a certain period of time, say 30 minutes or 1 hour, the moisture really dries up. And
And a final question: how does that decision help an Indian bureaucrat?
that perhaps we should.
I mean, you analyze that decision. Why did he take that decision? And you say that it's wrong. So, are there any lessons for an Indian bureaucrat in that decision?
We should play to his decision was wrong in the sense that he should have played to his strengths. Bowling is not our strength, so opting for bowling first was perhaps a little bit wrong. We should have first played to our strength, and in that as a bureaucrat, or I would say that we should analyze our strengths and weaknesses and pursue our strengths to minimize our weaknesses.
Do you certainly want to improve?
Yes.
So, it is up to you. Follow a suggestion if you want to. Write a resume of all that has happened here. Make an analysis yourself. Then we will suggest. We will make our own analysis and suggest improvements. But if you can do that, what has happened here? What questions were asked? What did you answer? And then analyze it. Where did it go wrong? Or where was it not satisfactory? Can you do that?
Yes, certainly I will do that.
Yeah, that will be part of your preparation.
One or two little things I want to ask, because I have been intrigued. Everybody is coming with pens like that. Is there a guide that everybody has to put a pen here?
No, there's not a
Everybody
guide.
has come. I just want to know.
Okay, I have come because sometimes when I want to write, searching for a pen is very difficult.
If one say make a pen,
This is a Jetta Reynolds.
if you are going to wear a pen, wear a better quality. Secondly, your
I
tie
like
is not iron. You
Okay,
should know.
yeah.
You should know. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.